This palazzo sewing, we'll firstly cut our pocket. Our pocket width is 6 inches and the depth is 13 inches. That's the depth of this one now. So these are for the two side pockets. So all we are going to do right now is just to take a panel of the front panel and just use it to cut the pocket shape. You know that same pocket shape in the front panel of the trouser, we are using it to cut the exact shape. We are cutting the two side pockets together. Remember, we are not placing on fold. Then when you fold it over, it looks like this. Yes, we are only cutting one part of it. So after that, we're just going to take one part of the pocket, that's for the pocketing, and then use it to sew. Like I'm sewing all around that curve, that pocket curve. That is what I'm sewing right now. And after sewing it, I will just notch and turn over. This is for the second pocket, like the second front pocket. I'm also sewing that curve, that pocket curve. I'm just going to notch after that and turn it over, like you know how we do our turn up and top stitch. This is me top stitching that pocket curve. Just after that, I'm just going to fold over like this. I just folded that pocket like this and aligned it. This is me locking up the lower part of the pocket, just like this. Just let me know in the comment section if you would want me to make a more detailed video of how to make a pocket. Yes, maybe that's if you're not seeing it clearly as I'm fast forwarding this video. So on this upper part, we just stitched it to hold it. We do the same thing for the other part, and then after that, you saw how I brought out my pocket. I'm just top stitching on the pocket, like I brought it out. You saw how I brought it out from the inside. I'm top stitching. After top stitching on that one, I do the same thing on this one. I still brought it out and top stitched. After this, we are going to our ironing table. This is for us to flat iron the pockets, the pocket seams. Yes, and I'm using water. I'm sprinkling water on my fabric and ironing. You know, I always sprinkle water. It helps me a lot. So after ironing the parts, this is the inside of the pocket, that's the back of the pocket. I'm also ironing the back. The essence of this ironing is to make it lay flat, because I'm sure you wouldn't want your pocketing to just be bulging up like that. So you still do this ironing the inside. You still iron the inside of the pocket to enable it to lay flat. So our two front panels are ready. I'm just going to lock it up. I remember that I just saw that I forgot to weave a part of the front crotch. So that's what I just did. I just weaved that part and went to my machine to join the two front panels. I am joining the crotch area, that is from under your leg, that's under your lap line, up to the waistline. I hope you can see this. You can always replay this video as much as possible. So after, for the front, we just go over and join our back. This is for the back. We're joining the back of this. All we are joining for the back is from the waist down to that lap line, the crotch line. You know how we did it. Yes, that's what we are joining. And after this joining, we'll have to go to our ironing table and iron our seams as usual. And watch closely how I am ironing. I am ironing open, just like we did on the kimono jacket. I am ironing open. When I open it up, I sprinkle water and iron. So the ironing the inside is really important, sef, even more than the outside, because later on you're still going to do your final ironing. You see this inside that is hidden, you need to do your ironing very well. See how I ironed it? This is for the front. I ironed the front open as well, and then I now iron the outside. So after this is for that. After this, I'm just going to trim off that excess up from the pocketing. Yeah, I'm going to trim it off and then join my front and back together. The one I'm joining now is I'm joining from the hem of this trouser up to the crotch line. That's the under part. That's the part I'm joining first. I'm getting my pins now. I'm trying to introduce my pins. Yes, I'm using my pins to just hold this. Normally, if I was not doing a tutorial, I would just go ahead and sew it up because I know how I do it. But because this is a detailed tutorial, I'm trying to carry everyone along. So just to show you the part I'll be closing up. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my machine and just run it up as seen. You know that this is that part in between your legs, that trouser joining in between your legs, so that's the part we are closing first. So I'm just going to run from the hem of the trouser to the top. This is the other part of the leg. You know, you do it one after the other. So after sewing up the other part of the leg, I just went on and sewed the other part of the leg. Yes, that's the left and right leg. After this, I'm going to my ironing table. This is to iron open that seam that I've sewn up. So you can see that part that I joined. I am using my iron to just sew it up, to iron it. So after ironing, I am folding by 2 inches. Remember that we left 2 inches when we were cutting this trouser. So that 2 inches, I am folding it. Like, this is how I am folding it. Yes, I am using water and this iron to just make a mark of that 2 inches line, so that I'll just move to my sewing machine and just lock it up. So this is me locking up that 2 inches hem. That's me hemming my trouser. So that's for the one leg, and the other leg I am just going to also do the same thing that I did. After this, I am closing the trouser. This is me closing the trouser, like I am closing the trouser. Yes, you know, we've locked up one part of the trouser, that's the inner leg, and now this is the outer part of the trouser, that the outer leg, you know, that outer seam on your trouser line, the sides. So I am closing up now. I'm not closing it up entirely because I've not added the waistband. This remaining space is to enable me add the waistband. So I'm stopping at that point, and I'm still going to lock up the other side. That's doing the same thing on the other side of this trouser. So at this point, my thread snapped, so I just had to fix it up again. It's a normal thing. So this is me locking up the other part of the trouser, starting from the hem up to the waist level. But I didn't get it to exactly that waistline. You can see that is because we've not added our waistband. Yeah, you saw where I stopped. So right now I'm going to take measurements of my front waist and my back waist. This is what will enable me, what will guide me to know how many inches of waistband to cut out. So I have just measured my front and it gave me 18.5, and measuring my back, let's see what it gives me. It gives me 21 inches. So I'm just going to cut that. I am folding because I am my pocket, my waistband width is supposed to be 2 inches, but I'm cutting by 3 inches. You can decide to cut by two and a half inches. Remember, you will use the half inches to just fold it over. So I'm cutting by 3 inches on fold. Yes, it's 3 inches on fold. Then this is the part that is excess. So after cutting this 3 inches, I now gum my gum stay. This is to help the waistband to be stiff. So I used my gum stay to hold the to make the waistband to to have strength. So after this, I still went ahead to trim my waist, this trouser now, this waistband now. I still went ahead to trim it. That's the excess that I don't need, because I'll be closing by 2 inch. I'll be closing by half inches. So it means that what I exactly need is 2 inches for my waistband. So the extra 1 inch is just 1 inch is just for excess, So this is me folding into two equal parts. And after this folding, I went ahead to just trim my waistband a little bit. Yes, if you don't have enough material, you can just cut at 2.5 inches. That means giving you 4 inch. That's giving you 5 inches on fold, or giving you 4.5 inches on fold. Then you know that you're working with just a little amount. So but on my own, I had fabrics remaining, so I had to cut by 6. I cut by 6 and folded in 2, which gave me 3. But later on, I'll still trim out the extra half inches and close by half inches. The choice is yours. So right here, I am joining my waistband to the trouser. Yes, just like this. Joining this for the front. I am joining waistband of the front to it, and after joining for the front, I will join for the back. So after this joining, I'm just going to put my weaving machine and weave that excess out. This part that I really don't know, that I really don't need, I'm weaving it out. That rough edges, it's really not nice seeing all those rough edges on your fabrics. So I'm just weaving out the excesses. This is to enable me get a neat finishing. So after this, I will just go ahead and close my trouser waistline. This is me close because I want my zipper to be on my left part, so I'm closing my right part entirely and opening up that's my left part. I want the zipper to be at depth of like 10 inches and top stitching. This is me stitching that place so that my zipper will just be fit in there, and the depth of this zipper is about 10.5 inches or so. So I went ahead to join my zip. But this is me putting my zip, and after putting this zip, our trouser will be ready. Yes, all we have to do is just to go to our ironing table and do our final ironing. If you've watched this tutorial up to this point, I must say thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for supporting me. I am happy, I am glad that you have watched up to this extent. See you next time, and please leave a comment in the comment section. This will enable me know that someone actually benefited from my tutorial. So this is the part where we call it a day. See you next time.